When we talk about video games, most people focus on the gameplay and mechanics, but map design plays a much bigger role than most realize, because it's not just decoration. It affects how players move around, engage in combat, explore, and basically experience the entire game. Sometimes even if your core mechanics are solid, the entire game can feel off, just because the environment doesn't support them. And speaking from experience, right now I'm working on a JoJo game. For a long time, I thought that my map was pretty good, because it had a lot of detail, great lighting, even some atmospheric elements. But something was missing, and I couldn't figure out what. Eventually, it hit me. The map just wasn't enjoyable to play on. That moment completely changed how I think about game design. So in this video, I want to unpack why map design has a bigger impact than most people think. I have broken this video into two main sections, one that explores what actually makes a good map, and another where I show those ideas applied on my game. That way, you will not only understand the theory, but see how it plays out in practice. With nothing more to say, let's start with the video. Using as an example my previous map, on paper it had everything. Detailed streets, relative lighting, decent scale. It really looked like a solid foundation. But that's the catch with map design. Looking good isn't enough. A map needs to play well, and that's where everything started to go wrong. There was no sense of direction. Players would spawn and they didn't know where to go, because the map didn't give them anything to work with. Every street, every corner looked the same. A lot of buildings that are detailed, but directionless. No landmarks, no standout visuals, nothing that said this way. So instead of jumping into the game, players hesitated. They didn't start exploring, they started wondering where they were supposed to go, and that's the moment you lose them. This isn't just a visual problem. I consider that it's a gameplay problem, because momentum is everything in a game. If your map doesn't guide players forward, the whole experience falls flat. Giving direction doesn't mean holding the player's hand. It means giving them reasons to move, something to chase or something to follow. Without that, the map is just pointless. I really think some areas look great. Nice lighting, good texturing, detailed props, but they had nothing going on. No enemies, nothing unique that makes that zone different. It was just empty space. And this is where level design quietly started bleeding into gameplay, because space isn't just decoration, it's function. There's no point into having a very big map and a lot of areas are just empty space. That yeah, maybe it looks very good, but if there's no point into being there, no one will go in those zones. Every zone in a map should serve a purpose. When a space does nothing, it feels empty. I watch players enter in these areas, slow down, look around, and then leave. That's logical, because if there's nothing in a zone, why would you be there in first place? What should be a moment of curiosity became a moment of confusion. Even the way the map connected didn't work. Some routes led to dead end with nothing there. Others doubled back for no reason, just empty filler. The map didn't feel like you were exploring. It felt like getting lost in a nice looking maze. And that's when I learned something crucial. Flow is what transforms a space into an experience. It's not about where players can go, it's about where they want to go, and how naturally they get there. When a map has a good flow, players don't need signs or a minimap. The layout itself pulls them forward. The movement just clicks. But my map didn't have any of that. It was made to look great, not to feel good in motion. So, what did I do to change that? For the flow problem, I started by changing how the map thinks. The old version didn't guide the players. It dropped them in and hoped they figure it out. The thing is that good flow isn't random. It's designed. First of all, this right here was supposed to be the center of the map. I feel like something that should be noticeable and very important, it was kind of hide. So I completely changed that and I made here an open space. I placed relevant landmarks like the Dio statue, the police station, the gym, and more stuff that I want to add, since actually I'm still working on the map. And more importantly, I stopped treating navigation as a background design. Now when you enter a zone, the path forward feels more obvious than before. To fix the empty space problem, I had to completely change how I think about the map. I used to treat those filler areas like they were fine. But if the players have nothing to do in those areas, what's the point? So I decided to cut those areas out entirely. Since we are still working on the game, in the future, when we have more mechanics, enemies, or another stuff, I'll add new areas that actually bring value to the gameplay. No more filler just for the sake of size. Another thing that I noticed was how repetitive the streets felt. Everyone looked exactly the same, and I think that contributed to the map feeling flat. So I changed the roads to make it more interesting, adding different shapes, curves, and layouts to break the monotony. Lighting was another big change. Since right now we are working on everything related to Starless Crusaders, the map needs to reflect that vibe. By adjusting the lighting, I think the atmosphere improved a lot. It feels more immersive and fitting for what we are trying to achieve. We still have a lot of stuff to make, but I really like how everything is turning up. Even though the map isn't finished, I can already tell things are working much better. If you want to follow the game's development, don't forget to subscribe or join to the Discord server. Thanks for watching.